ever get that feeling like you're standing on the edge of something huge, something really massive?
Yeah.
But you need, the right tools to explore it, to really get into it.
Totally.
That's what this Nickel blog post, I don't know, it really got me thinking about that. Because we talk about the potential of machine learning all the time, right?
You do.
But accessing it, actually using it, it feels like, I don't know, trying to navigate a maze in the dark.
Yeah, no, the author definitely, they don't hold back on the the obstacles, the hurdles.
Yeah.
They even call out this irony where you've got companies, right, and they're basically drowning in data.
Right. Which you'd think.
Exactly. It's like you've got the raw material, right?
Right.
But then they talk about how actually using it to train models.
Yes.
It is a whole other ballgame.
Totally different story.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's break it down.
Okay.
Let's look at these hurdles, these obstacles they're talking about.
Yeah.
First up.
Yeah.
The learning curve.
It's a steep one.
They are not kidding.
No.
When they say it's steep, like they've got this whole list of concepts and terms, and I'm reading this going, tensors, loss functions.
All right.
This sounds like it's like straight out of a science fiction movie.
Yeah, it's a whole other language.
Oh, it is.
It really is.
And not just like learning a new language.
That's the thing.
It's like inventing your own grammar.
Exactly.
At the same time.
While you're trying to learn it.
While you're trying to learn it.
Yeah.
It's daunting, to say the least.
And you know what I thought was really interesting is how they connected that steep learning curve to like real world stuff.
Okay, yeah.
Because it's easy to get lost in the weeds, right?
Right.
But they give this example
of
a company, I think it was, and they wasted weeks.
Oh, no.
Just trying to set up a single experiment.
Oh, wow.
Because they were using the wrong framework. Like they're...
Weeks. Imagine, like, what else they could have done.
I know, right.
If that whole process...
If it was easier.
Was easier, yeah. Okay, so we've got the learning, which is hard enough.
Yeah.
But then on top of that,
yeah.
You've got this whole software situation.
Yes. Oh, my God.
The software jungle that you have to navigate.
Ugh. The worst.
The article, honestly, this is going to sound weird, but it made me laugh out loud.
Really?
Because they compared choosing machine learning tools to herding cats.
And it's true.
Because it's like every piece of software
it's true.
is doing its own thing.
Right.
They're all over the place.
Yep. Completely fragmented.
Yeah.
It resonates so much with me.
Does it?
Because it's like you finally,
Yeah.
You wrap your head around one tool.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
You're feeling good.
And
then boom, you need to do the next step.
Right.
In your pipeline. And it's a whole different thing.
Different tool, different
everything. New learning curve. New quirks. New.
Cigared all over.
Yeah. And it's no wonder.
It's a lot.
People get overwhelmed, I mean.
It's a lot to juggle.
It is. And then it's like, just when you think, okay, I'm getting a handle on this whole software.
You're like, I got this.
I know, I'm figuring it out.
Yeah.
You run smack into, the next wall.
Exactly. Which is infrastructure.
Yes. The infrastructure. Like it's not enough to figure out the learning, the software.
Right.
Now you got to be a tech person.
You got to be like, in the cloud, literally.
In the cloud.
Yeah.
The article calls this whole area MLOps.
It does, which honestly...
Which I gotta say, doesn't sound as intimidating as it actually is.
I know. It sounds very...
benign.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh yeah,
MLOps, sure.
I got my MLOps. Right, like no big deal.
Right, exactly.
But really, they're talking about all that behind the scenes stuff that actually makes these models work.
Yeah.
Like reliably.
Right, not just, it works on my computer.
Right, exactly. Gotta
scale it.
You gotta be cost effective.
Yeah, cost performance trade-offs.
Oh, see, there's that word.
Right.
Like, I read that, I'm like, I'm gonna need a whole other degree.
It's like a whole other job almost.
It is. It's like, suddenly, on top of everything else, I need to become this cloud computing expert.
It's crazy.
It's a lot to juggle.
It is. It really is.
And then, here's the thing.
What's that?
It's not like you do this once.
Oh, no.
And you're done.
Tell me it's over. It's not over.
Okay.
The article talks about maintaining a machine learning system. It's not like setting and forgetting it. It's like they compared it to tending a garden.
That's a good analogy.
Which I kind of get that, right?
Yeah.
Because you're constantly...
You gotta weed it.
you got to water. You got to water. You got to make sure things are growing.
Protect it from the elements.
Protect it, right. Yeah. So you're monitoring performance. You're making adjustments. Yeah. You're adapting to like whatever the new challenges are.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so it really is, it's this perfect storm they're describing, right?
Yeah.
Like you've got the steep learning curve. You've got the software that's,
fragmented
all over the place. Yeah. And you've got
complex infrastructure.
Yeah. The infrastructure.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, once you've done all that,
right,
you can't just like relax.
No.
You got to keep at it.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So no wonder, like one of the things the article calls out is this idea of missed opportunities.
Oh, yeah.
Like this is the consequence of all of these barriers being so high.
Absolutely.
That we're missing out on stuff.
I'm so much.
And that's what I wanted to ask you about. Like what really like hit home for you about what we're missing out on?
Yeah, well, they gave that example. And this one really, I don't know, it stuck with me.
Yeah.
This company.
Yeah.
They were trying to do something, I think it was fraud detection.
Okay.
Which, huge, right?
Huge.
But they had to abandon it.
Really?
Yeah, they couldn't find the people.
The expertise.
The in-house expertise.
Yeah, to navigate all of this.
All the complexity, yeah.
Wow.
And it just,
yeah,
makes you think, right?
It does.
Like how many
other
breakthroughs are we just like not even seeing?
Yeah.
Because the tools are too hard.
Too hard, yeah.
And it's not just like big companies and profits.
Yeah.
Which, important, but.
Of course, yeah.
But think about.
Yeah.
Healthcare.
Okay.
Education, like all these things.
Yeah.
Even, environmental stuff.
Right.
Climate.
All of it could benefit.
Could benefit, yeah.
From this technology.
Exactly. If it were
easier to use.
Easier to get to, yeah.
Yeah.
More accessible.
Yeah,
it's
like we're so close to this. Like
it's right there.
Incredible.
Tantalizingly close.
Yes. Like it's right there, and yet it feels like
just out of reach.
We're stuck watching other people.
Yeah, like we can see it.
Like do it, yeah.
We'll go touch it.
Right, exactly.
Out of check.
It's like, oh, that's so frustrating.
It is frustrating.
Because it's not even about, like,
yeah.
I think a lot of times people think, oh, machine learning.
Big company?
Yeah, big companies, big profits.
Silicon Valley.
Right, but it's like.
But it could be.
It could be.
So much more than that.
So much more.
Yeah.
The article actually makes the point that.
What's that?
That if it were easier to use.
Right.
It could empower.
Oh, absolutely.
Like smaller organizations.
Individuals, individuals, communities.
Right. To solve their own problems.
Exactly. That's the exciting part.
That's the exciting
part. Like, we don't even know what's possible.
Exactly. We don't even know what we don't know.
We don't, yeah.
So it feels like, I don't know about you, but
yeah.
We've painted kind of a bleak picture here.
It's a tough one.
Right. Like, we're trying to climb Mount Machine Learning here.
Yeah, it's a climb.
It's steep. It's easy to get lost.
Lots of cliffs you can fall off of.
Exactly. But the Nickel article.
Yeah.
It does end on kind of a hopeful note.
It does.
Right. It's not all like doom and gloom.
No. There's light at the end of the tunnel.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and it gets to that. So what? Right.
It's
like, okay, we've laid out all the problems.
Yeah.
What do we do about it?
Exactly.
And they point to companies.
Oh, okay.
Like. And this is kind of funny because they wrote the article.
Right.
But Nickel itself, they're trying to change things.
So they're saying, like, we see these problems and we're trying to fix them.
Exactly, yeah. Their whole thing is, how do we make this less intimidating?
Okay.
More user-friendly.
So they've cracked the code.
Right.
Like, anyone can just, I don't know.
I wouldn't say,
plug in their data, magic happens.
It's not quite magic yet.
Okay.
But they are aiming for that, like simplicity, right?
Right.
They're saying you shouldn't have to have a PhD to do this.
Because it benefit from it, yeah.
Exactly. And the article talks about how their platform, it's all about abstracting away the complexity.
Okay, so like behind the scenes.
Yeah. All that stuff we were talking about.
Yeah, the tensors,
all the pipelines, the infrastructure.
It's still happening.
Yeah, it's happening.
But you don't have to see it.
You don't have to,
You don't have to wrangle it.
Exactly.
Interesting.
And this is actually, kind of a broader trend in tech in general, right?
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Like things that used to require
right.
super specialized knowledge.
Yeah.
They become accessible.
Totally. Like, I'm old enough to remember when, if you wanted to build a website.
Yeah.